Top of the top, y'all. All right, we got my guy, Scott Jennings. I love that face he always got, man. That's how you know you telling us saying some bullshit. When Scott Jennings got that face right there. But anyway, we got my guy, Scott Jennings, breaking down what happened yesterday between the quote-unquote leaked war plans to the journalists at The Atlantic. Check it out.
All right, moments ago, Caitlin Collins was reporting on her show, Scott, that there is shock inside the White House that this chat was texted to Jeffrey Goldberg. Are you shocked?
Well, sure. I mean, it's a shocking thing, and they've admitted that it was a mistake and admitted that it's authentic. So they're owning up to it. I think they're still, based on what I've heard tonight, trying to figure out how it happened. I'm not sure the National Security Advisor Walls even knows Goldberg. In fact, I don't believe he knows him and has never met him. I did learn a few things in some of my conversations, if you're interested. One is that the Signal program was preloaded on a number of devices and agency computers in this circuit when they got there. So in their view, it was already in use. Number two, in some of the messages, they talk about needing to go to the high side computers, which is the classified system. So they clearly were knowing there was a line on what you could discuss in a chat like this versus classified system. Number three, there is a dispute over whether the term war plans is being exaggerated. And number four, look, I love the policy. It's well executed. You've got a thoughtful policy discussion going on. And we did what the Biden administration would not do: stop these people from harassing our shipping lanes and our boats and our Navy. So good on the Trump administration for reversing a bad policy.
So my guy, Scott, once again, provides a really good take and some really good details that are very pertinent to this conversation. Number one, is that the Signal app was already preloaded onto their devices. So this was an app that was already there. It wasn't something that they decided to use on their own, without anybody knowing. This was already on their White House approved devices. Okay. And then secondly, the important takeaway here is that they obviously knew there was a line between where we could discuss classified information and where we cannot. So it's not like they were oblivious to what the compliance rules are in regards to conversations or national security conversations taking place on particular apps. So those are really great points. And, I mentioned some of that last night in terms of, hey, if Pete and his team were using this app, it was because this must have been something that, was already, pre-approved in a sense. Now, was it approved to have the types of conversations they were having? Probably not. But nonetheless, my guy Scott came through with another great take. Now, in regards to the war plans conversation, look, I'm going to keep it real, right? I'm Team MAGA, but I keep it fucking real. The war plans, quote unquote, that were discussed, it did consist of what targets they were going to hit, where they were going to stage supplies, what supplies they were going to use. So, yeah, it technically was war plans that was discussed on that thread. However, when this story first broke, I was suspicious. I was like, what's the bullshit here? Where's the scam? Where does this tie back to the Biden administration, et cetera, et cetera? So, although it did not tie back to the Biden administration, it does tie back to TDS and, The Atlantic, which is a magazine who has been known for publishing questionable stories with questionable sources. The reporter himself, the Goldberg guy, he suffered from TDS. So, does that mean that everything that they say is, false? No. But we need to also take into account who is giving this information to us and why are they giving it to us, right? So, with that said, the story was legit. This shit definitely did happen. I don't think it's as serious as the Dems are making it. However, the Dems have been a punching bag for the last several weeks. They've been taking L after L after L. And this is the one time that they can actually fight back and talk shit. And it's legit. It's based on something that actually happened as facts. This is the first hoax that wasn't a hoax. That's what's up. We're moving in the right direction. I'm on the side of truth. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. Till next time. Peace.